Good morning. The day after the big protest vote in Europe, we got started with the euro-dollar down at 129.50, which seems to be the support for now. In terms of the impact from the change of government in France and the dire straits in Greece, it's most likely to be there will be a wait-and-see attitude towards both the euro and to some extent the equity markets. But of course, overall, this was an anti-EU protest vote, and as such, it's not very conducive for a change of reforms. I guess the old proverbs that we have the politicians we deserve plays really well just now. I personally think that there are three phases in this election campaign. The first phase was the problem is to do with everybody else but me. This second phase has to do with protesting the establishment. And then thirdly, and most importantly, we move into what I call the ability to get a mandate for change. The mandate for change was last given exactly 30 years ago, almost to the day today, when Margaret Thatcher was given the go-ahead to reform the UK. So effectively, we are in the path between the second phase, which is the protest, and now moving in towards establishing some sort of mechanism by which we voters want and embrace the reform program. Why is that relevant? Well, it's relevant because the euro-dollar overall continues to be whether the Germany will embrace the euro, save us all by paying out a big check at the end of the day, or we have to move to some sort of split up of Europe inside the next 6 to 18 months. However, in terms of the immediate timeline, there are a major events still awaiting, and that being the French parliamentarian election, two days in June. I think it's the 10th and the 17th. If Hollande also wins this, that will be negative for Europe overall. It means that he will have almost unlimited powers in terms of taking France where he wants it to go. And what we've seen from Hollande so far, it is not constructive for Europe and certainly less so constructive for France. But let's see and make judgments when we actually see the parliamentary elections. So effectively for this week, for the next 30 days, we'll probably see the euro trade slightly lower continuously. We will retest the 129.50 during this week. Also because the relative economic development of US and Europe is very, very different right now. The US is coming down, stabilizing. Europe is in a free fall politically and economically. We think it's time to test the downside of the euro, be very, very defensive in terms of picking up the euros. It could be like falling knives. But overall, we don't see a major change in range. We see a potential for 128.50 at the low and probably 130.50, 131 at the top end of the range, but the buy should be to the downside. Have a great week.